Waiting to make a decision is often worse than making the wrong decision. Stop waiting for perfect. Get started, but be prepared to make adjustments once you receive input and feedback from the real world. That is where success comes from. It's Saturday. I'm in the office. You know what that means. It's Saturday morning hustle podcast, and we're going to talk about today paralysis by analysis or waiting for perfect. I've had multiple conversations with multiple entrepreneurs this week who were waiting to make a major decision, to launch their product or service, to commit to something, whatever it was. They weren't committing to the decision because they felt like they needed more information. But what they were missing was that they had enough information to make a good enough decision, get into the market, get the consumer feedback, get input from the real world, and then refine that decision, adjust that decision, make better decisions moving forward, because there's no such thing as perfect in life, and definitely, absolutely no perfection in business. Success comes from the management of change. Running a business is continually changing, continually updating, continually doing business as well as you possibly can in 2023, not 2021, not 1970, not 1950. So if this is the case, if businesses continually improve, if you are improving in April over what you did in March, over what you did in February, over what you did in January, over what you did in 2022 and 2021 and 2020, then why are you delaying making decisions? Even major decisions need to be made in a timely manner. Now, there is a difference between tactics and execution and day-to-day and weekly and monthly activities and your 5 and 10-year vision for the business. But you do need to manage these aspects daily, tactical, on the ground, execution, and you need to manage the direction, the vision, and the overall business, the 5 and 10-year plans, all at the same time. But you can make good decisions about the direction and processes of the business if you are paying attention to your tactical execution, making your minor adjustments in how you are actively connecting, doing business with, relating to, servicing your audience, your customers, your consumers, the people who spend their time, their money, their attention, their support to do business with you. So you can take your time in major decisions. And in fact, you should take your time, but not too much time, not all the time, and absolutely not so that you can get to perfection, but so that you can get as much pertinent information as you can from your day-to-day activities, from your weeklies and monthlies, from your tactical execution, but also research, also input from others, also market trends, data analysis, competitive analysis, things that are happening around you, even the economy, the government, all kinds of things like this that happen around us, most of it out of our control, goes into your decision-making process. You can gather as much of that information as you can. Gather input from experts and trusted advisors. Definitely be looking at the information that you receive on the daily, weekly, monthly, from your sales reports, from your feedback, from your customer reviews, etc. Look to your trusted advisors. Think, put your thinking cap on, and make smart decisions in a very smart way by being informed, but at some point you have to commit to the decision. You need to be fast in your tactical execution, make the adjustments necessary, learn from those things, and then take all of that and roll it into the bigger picture concept in your head as to how you make those big decisions. You have to make those decisions at some point. Not making the decision, not making changes necessary, not seeing what's coming down the path at you from the future, not looking at trends, not looking at what your competition is doing to you and reacting is the worst thing you can do. So instead, collect information as necessary, not all information, not enough information for you to be 100% confident in your decision, but enough information necessary. Compare it to your past experience, to your input from trusted advisors, to the data itself, and then make that informed decision. Craft a plan around it. Put the support into place and then commit to this decision. You could commit to the way you've been doing things, and that is the right path to continue on. Commit to making a change and doing something different, taking a different path, possibly even making major changes or even pivoting your business, your brand, etc. if you have an informed decision. And you need to make informed decisions, and you need to make regular decisions. If you are informed, if you have support necessary, if you have all the things in place, you know the actions necessary. Typically, making a decision isn't a one-time thing. The decision means 5 or 10 or 20 actions have to happen now to make the change that reflects the decision made. Once you make that decision, commit to those changes and execute on them as rapidly as possible. Don't wait, don't second guess, and definitely don't half-ass the decision by trying to stick your toe into it and sort of do it and seeing if you get blowback. Make the decision, make the commitment, put the actions into place. Now, why is it that that's not a scary proposition? Why should you not be afraid of making decisions, major or otherwise? Because you can always go back. You can always change your mind. You can revert to what you were doing if the outcomes from the new decision, from the new changes, from the new direction aren't providing you what you're looking for. So again, you need to make decisions on a regular basis. Sometimes they're small, sometimes they're adjustments, sometimes they're big. They are big changes. Sometimes it's a pivot where your whole business model changes. If the feedback from the real world, if your experience in data analysis, if your competitors, if the market, if your consumers are all pushing you to do that, make the decision to do it, put it into action, put it into place, commit to it, and try to make it work as best as possible while looking at the details, receiving the feedback, understanding, even though you've just made this major decision, you're still going to make adjustments in your execution, that you can continually riding this path of change. Change is the key to being successful. Success comes from the best management of change. Make the changes, follow the path. If it's going in the right direction, continue. If it doesn't go in the right direction, make your minor adjustments in order to understand if it's execution or the decision itself. Either way, you can always go back. Big picture, small picture. In execution, in direction. You can make adjustments, you can make changes, you can make improvements, you can pivot. You can go back. This is how things work. Focus on how you manage change. Be excited at the idea of changing. Do not be afraid to make changes, to move in different directions, and to follow the path of success because you're paying attention to the details, to the big picture, and to all of the data that you receive on a regular basis. I hope that was helpful, guys. I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of people lately about not waiting for perfect, making decisions, getting into the market, getting the changes out into the world, and let the real world tell you if it was the right decision or not. You can second guess every single decision you ever made. You can think it's not the right one. You can feel you're not ready. It will never matter until it's in the world and the world pushes back on it. Very often, changes or decisions that you are going to make that you're afraid of work out better than you thought, or not making a decision is worse for you than you thought, and that takes you down the wrong path. So do not be afraid of making decisions, making changes, making adjustments, and continually making those adjustments based on not your own fears, your own assumptions, the things in the back of your head, but what your audience tells you, what the market tells you, what your competitors do in response, what the economy does, what the factors out of your control do in response to those changes. So stop waiting for perfect. Make a change, make a decision, commit to it 100%, but always keep your eyes and ears open for the feedback of your audience, the people who spend time, money, effort, and support to do business with you. If you can do that, you can be successful by having the best management of change. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Starting One Hustle podcast again this week. I appreciate you each and every weekend as we come together here and talk about our pursuit of success, about that little bit of extra that we do in order to be great. The next big thing is not coming Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. You know that. That's why you're listening to this podcast. All previous episodes, all episodes of the bonus content, the ballot series, the swag, everything you want to know about the Starting One Hustle, including every podcast platform you can find us on, is at SaturdayMorningHustle.com. Go check it out. Leave a review, leave a comment, tell a friend. I would appreciate that so much. And make sure you're here next Saturday for another episode of the Saturday Morning Hustle. See you next week.